is the value proposition of doing standardized tests? I've been seeing on my YouTube feed a lot the Princeton Review advertisement that the SAT prep does is help you prepare for the SAT. Is there a stronger value proposition? Does it help is there something else that students benefit from in preparing for the SAT or ACT?
I certainly think so. And this is from speaking from my perspective as a tutor, but also as a test taker who has gone through these study practices on my own. Preparing for a standardized test indeed requires a very specific skill set that is not generally applicable in other arenas like reading comprehension skills under time conditions or rapid fire data interpretation skills for the ACT science section. But what you are doing is you're helping span the gap between a disrupted spring semester and the start of the fall, which also may be disrupted. You're essentially keeping your academic and analytical skills sharp. You're working with some of those fundamental math concepts and keeping that in the back burner. You're habituating to the intellectual rigor of working through a challenging intellectual exercise. If you're not preparing for standardized tests, my question would be, what are you doing so that you can effectively weather this very disrupted academic timeline? So there's a value proposition. And then ultimately, of course, the value proposition is, as college admissions is changing and the criteria by which students are measured are changing, an SAT score and an ACT score are still valid data points, regardless of whether a school is going test optional for the next application year, for the next 3, or permanently.
Yeah, that's great, Scott. So I think that, in the other value proposition for this that we've discussed is that in some ways it's kind of like what you do when you're doing project management, right? You're scoping out a multi-month project with an end date in mind, and you are going to do your best to deliver on that end date. Also, a lot of performance mindset baked in. I think you still go for the SATs. Didn't you learn an important lesson on what's required on the SAT math section? What's one of the most important things you need to remember to bring, Scott?
Your wits, your humor.
I don't know if those are very helpful.
Oh, no. You need the right tools.
Calculator.
Yes. I did not bring my calculator. Or I brought it, but I failed to check whether the batteries worked.
Right. So